Hello everyone and welcome to Loggers Run Park in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida for MLS Next regular season week 4. Today, South Florida Football Academy is having its first home game of the season, largely due to circumstances outside their control, but they will be facing off against Weston FC, one of their close rivals here in South Florida. Weston FC is known basically nationwide for its development of soccer players over the last decade. They've contributed many collegiate and professional athletes through their program, and they are definitely going to provide a tough challenge here for South Florida. South Florida, however, is coming off their first win of the season against Jacksonville FC, and we're hoping to make it 2 in a row today as they take on this tough Weston team. Earlier today, our 2010 team took on Weston and was able to come away with the tie, so we're hoping to do a little bit better today and see how we do. The fields here at Loggers Run Park are all natural grass, and unfortunately, due to that fact, sometimes they become a little bit too muddy for the team to play on, hence why we have not had a home game prior to this point. But today, the grass looks great, the kids are ready to play, and I think we're going to have a great football game here today, and we'll see how everything turns out. Loggers Run Park is located in West Palm Beach, Florida. That is a county that is just north of Broward and just a little bit south of Orlando, if you're looking for it on a map. Loggers Run Park has been around for a number of years and is home to the South Florida Football Academy as well as some other parks in the general area, but this is where they play all of their professional games and MLS Next games. As Coach Greg talks to the team here, we're going to start seeing some of the players warm up and look forward to the match ahead. There's not too many changes to the lineup other than Coach Greg having to change a little bit around due to some absences. Massimo is going to retain the starting position up as striker as well as Nick. Then we have Gavin K playing out on the left wing. We have Brian playing center mid along with Gavin B. And then we also have Julian out on the right wing. Kawa, Idan, Lano, and Matthew make up our back line, and Brandon is our starting goalie. So not much has changed here. Andrew, who was starting on the left of Jacksonville, was unable to make it today. We're hoping that he'll return shortly. So some positional changes for players, but not a large change, as we hope to bring some of that magic that we had in Jacksonville down here to home field. As the players start warming up, we take a look at Weston's overall performance thus far in MLS Next, having a couple of wins and a couple of losses this year, losing to Inter Miami 5-0, as well as to Kendall Rush 2-0. Coincidentally enough, those are the same teams that we've lost to this season. However, we lost by a considerably lesser margin to Inter Miami. As we take a look around the field, you can see that there's multiple games being played here today. We have a number of teams in action, and we're hoping that SFFA can come out on top in each and every one. We have some teams playing against the Chargers from Tampa area, and we also have Weston as well as some other teams playing in conjunction with their own. As we wait for the kickoff here, the referee's going to be checking with the goalies, and here we go. Nick kicks off to Idan, and Idan sends the ball long down the field to the Weston keeper, who collects it nicely. Throws it out to the left side as Massimo applies pressure. Weston playing a little bit of quick passes here, controlling the ball thus far fairly well, until they just kick that one out of bounds. Waiting for the throw in. So Julian's going to take the throw in. He connects with Brian. Brian with a nice chest pass down to Gavin B. Idan now on the ball, switching the side over to Kawa. And Kawa in control, looking up the field. Finds Nick. Nick hits Brian. Brian hits it back to Nick. Nick looks like he gets fouled. Brian tries to cut through. He definitely looked like he got fouled, but no call as the referee says play on. Weston now in the attack, going up that right side as Gavin K tries to intercede and prevent them from going any further. They now switch the side, going through the middle of the field, finding passes as they go until Matthew came over and interrupted that one. Weston enjoying some passing here with very limited pressure as they work the ball back to the backfield and then again down the left side. Very reminiscent to the Inter Miami game Lots of passing in the midfield and then looking for that ball down the line as Matthew lets the Weston offensive player get ahead of him, and they cross the ball into the middle, but luckily there's nobody there and Gavin Kay clears the ball. The ball goes out of bounds into touch. Throwing for Julian. As he's looking for a player to get the ball to, he finds Brian. Brian got his head up. He's found Cowa down the left side. And Cowa's got a lot of daylight here, making a run. He's got his head up. He crosses the ball, and just unfortunately Nick couldn't get there in time as the goalie for Weston comes out and scoops it up. Well, definitely a positive play there as we got the ball into a dangerous area. Let's hope we see more of that as Weston works this ball out to the right side. Number 19 for Weston is able to get that ball through. Finds a nice pass down the right side, but Edon is quickly going to get there and knock that ball out of play to clean that up. As we take another look at this ball in the middle, looks like Brian gets the touch to the ball, and there's definitely contact there from the Weston player causing him to fall. However, no foul called. Hopefully this is not a trend to come as this ball is played out of bounds. I should remind our viewers that here at Mad About Soccer we do have the benefit of replay, and not always can the referee see every incident that occurs on the field, but I thought that one was pretty clear as Weston throws this ball in on the right side. Weston looking around, very patient, not trying to rush anything. Very short, very quick passes. There is pressure being applied by SFFA as this cross comes in. Brandon's able to snag it out of the sky and takes a big throw down the middle of the field looking for Nick. But a Weston player came in as this ball gets played up the field to Massimo. Massimo plays it down over to the right side, finds Nick on the right. He makes contact with a Weston player, still able to come away with the ball. Now he's charging down the right side. He tries to cross it in. Weston player gets his body in front of the ball. And Nick plays this one out. So again, some threatening attacking play by South Florida as they appear to be going all out against Weston here. As we get another throw in. Julian passes this one off to Gavin. Gavin trying to find Julian. Julian trying to find Gavin again. But Weston knocks this ball out of play in a touch. Weston not a huge team. Many of their players are about the same size as ours, unlike the Kendall game where it's superior to every player with a giant. I'd like to take this time to note that MLS Next is pretty much in every MLS state in the United States, creating teams that can compete within the MLS Next program to try to find players an avenue into the professional sport. MLS Next is brought to you by MLS. As SFFA brings this ball in, Edon has the ball, passes up through the middle, finds Gavin. Gavin unfortunately had a loose handle on it, and Weston picks it up. Weston now back on the right side, looking ahead, find their player. Cowa comes in to apply the pressure, and he's able to win a throw-in. Looking up the field, passing the ball in. Some quick passes in the middle there. Unfortunately, we couldn't find anybody on the long one. Matthew's there to clean that up and sends the ball long. Massimo there to pick it up, tries to find Nick quickly, unable to do so, and Weston's now back on the attack. Some jostling and fighting going on in there. SFFA is trying their best to try to come away with the ball, as number 19 for Weston is now going down. Nice slide tackle by Gavin Kay to prevent that attack, and played the ball out in the touch for a Weston throw. So now throwing the ball in. Trying to get that ball into the box, not having much luck of it so far. SFFA or South Florida teams contend at letting them have these little passes in small areas where they're not a danger to the goal. And it's not a bad strategy as they are able to apply pressure in those small areas and come away with the ball. Oh, and Nick gives the ball away here at the front of the box. Let's hope we get away with this one. And a foul called by the referee on Lano, number 12. I'm not quite sure where the foul was there. Hopefully we'll be able to take another look at this one as Weston lines up to take this kick. They bring up one of their larger players, number 4. As we take a closer look here, it looks like our view is kind of obscured. I don't know. I couldn't tell. It looked like it was all ball to me, and he tripped over the ball. But again, benefit of replay as South Florida forms a wall here to try to block this free kick. Brandon giving direction from the goalpost. Seems to be satisfied with that as South Florida has 4 in the wall, and the goalie doesn't seem to be happy with where they're standing. Weston's lining up to take this kick. Matthew is quick to join them in the wall. And here we go. And it's over the bar. No real threat there. It was a dangerous spot for a free kick, but was not on target and made easy work. And Brandon kicks this in the box to Edon. Edon kicks the ball up. I'm sorry, that was Lano. Lano kicks the ball up. M.A.D on the ball now, kicking the ball up in the air. Trying to find Matthew. Matthew's providing pressure to the Weston player. And now Weston gives the ball away. Some more quick passes as Brian gets in there. He's able to come away with it. He's got his head up. Just had the ball a little too far out in front of him. But it looks like there's a foul call here. And it's going to be a handball against South Florida. And Weston now with a free kick in the middle of the field. And they find their number 19. There's an overlap by the right back of Weston. That could be dangerous. 19 threads the ball through the middle. He's looking for somebody up the field. And Edon is quick to get in there again and stop that attack. Lano now playing the ball out to Kawa. Kawa looking for someone to pass to. Fortunately, there's an errant pass in the middle. This could be trouble. 19 is there. Oh, quick tackle there by the center backs of South Florida. That was really dangerous. That was definitely going to be a scoring opportunity if we did not intercede on that play. Thank goodness that we did and prevented that shot from going on goal. As he now plays this one up to Gavin. Gavin taking his time on the ball. Weston was able to come up and sneak it away from him. And now they are back on the attack with their quick passes. 19 out to the right back. Right back is far up the field, giving them an advantage of bodies. As he finds his captain and plays it off to the line. Right back's able to play that over Kawa, but Kawa ends up coming away with the ball in the end. As Gavin's trying to get this ball down the line to one of his players, but there is nobody there. And this ball is played in the box, and an errant touch by the Weston player gives Lano enough time to shepherd it out. Whoa, some tense moments here in the first 12 minutes of this game. We are looking like we're in some trouble. Let's hope that we can find our way out of this. As this ball was played long, South Florida gets it under control and is now playing it out to the right. Kawa now on the ball, looking down the line, finding Nick. Nick now charging up the field. Let's see if this can be in some magic. Nick's now in the box. Could be some trouble. He's looking for the angle. He crosses the ball and hits the side netting. Another dangerous run from Nick and got it into an area. Just couldn't find the player running on the right side for it to be a shot on goal. As Julian gets this ball, plays it up to Brian. Brian looking for Mossy. Cannot find him, and Weston switches the side. Weston's right back now, running up the field again. Finds his player on the right side. Lano applying pressure. Able to do so effectively, create an errant pass. As Kawa plays this one upfield. Weston again, back and forth with the passing. Just waiting for their opportunities. And so far, we'll see where this one takes them as their striker is trying to move him around the field. Takes a little slip there. It's enough opportunity for Brian to get on the ball and plays it back. Kawa on the ball, trying to find Nick again on the right side, unable to do so. And Weston just appear to be everywhere when South Florida is trying to move this ball out of their area. Weston has committed a number of players to the attack, which puts a lot of pressure on South Florida to try to get the ball here, as that ball played beautifully into the middle. And Kawa able to clear it out to Brian. Brian trying to play the ball up to Nick. And we cannot just find a clean pass. Weston again trying to get this ball into the middle, and they do. Number 7's there. Matthew comes away, kicks the ball out. Kawa now on the ball again, looking for his players, kicks the ball up the field, finds Nick. Nick trying to make the most of it. Just too many Weston defenders there for him to be effective. Weston again, playing this ball long, trying to find their striker. They do. Number 7, he's in the box. He's looking for a cross. He gets it off. And Brandon, again, flying through the air like Superman to grab that ball. And comes down and rolls it out to Brian. Brian up to Nick. Nick looking for the back pass, just couldn't find him. As Weston again charging through. Another beautiful pass played across. Matthew is there. Plays that ball up, unfortunately, to another Weston player. as Gavin steps in to kick that ball away. Nick playing the ball up to Mossy. Mossy trying to do something and manages to win a throw for South Florida. Well, I'll tell you, South Florida is doing everything they can to try to survive here. They are fighting tooth and nail as Brian plays his ball beautifully across to Kawa. Kawa's got his head up, tries to play it into Nick, just not enough zip on the ball, but the Weston player is able to pick it up. Nick knocks it out before Weston can start their attack. Waiting for the Weston throw. As you can see, there's a number of umbrellas in play here today, trying to block out that Florida sun. Heat index is quite high today, even though it is October. We're still feeling the effects of summer as, wow, Weston plays this ball nicely down the right side, and 19 plays another good ball into the box. Brandon there, quick off his line to scoop that one up before it could be any threat. Lano looking for a pass, finds Kawa. Kawa takes it off the shin guards. And this ball's back into the middle. Lano trying to head the ball away. Able to fend off the Weston defender, gets the ball out to Kawa. Kawa under pressure. Gavin there to try to help. Nobody can come away with this ball. Weston again back in the attack. Looking for a ball in the middle. Matthew and Lano get there. That ball's played up the middle. Brian's there. Brian trying to find the ball. There's a mad struggle for this ball, and we come away with it. Brian now trying to find Nick on the run. And Weston again, just everywhere. As Lano sticks his foot in there, is able to come away with that ball. Gavin gets the ball off to the other Gavin. And Lano plays this safely out to Kawa on the right side. Kawa trying to get to Nick, finds him. Brian now on the ball in the middle of the field, finds Nick running up the field. Let's see if he can outrun these defenders. The Weston center back played a little bit deeper, knowing that Nick's on the run, and passes back to the Weston goalie, who then plays it out to the side. And Weston now trying to get it up the left side of the field. Matthews there to kick the ball out of bounds. Well, this is definitely a tough one for sure. South Florida Football Academy, established in 2018, has been a part of the MLS Next program for years and is trying to develop kids for the future of MLS. So be sure to check out South Florida Football Academy when you're looking for a club next season to see if you have what it takes to be a part of the MLS Next program. As this ball is thrown into Massimo, as he tries to make something happen down the right side, the Weston defender kicks it out of bounds. Julian now looking for a player. Finds Mossy. Mossy tries to return it back to Julian. Weston comes away with it, but not too far as Kyle's there to pick it up in the middle of the field. Gavin plays it back. Finds Lano. Lano's got his head up. He plays the ball long, looking for someone. Goalie comes out and catches that one. And he decides to calm down the Weston offensive machine as they try to play this out of the back. Weston center back with his head up, doesn't like what he sees, plays it out to the left back, but Gavin Kay is there to kick the ball out of bounds. Weston has a throw. 19 on the ball now. Very dangerous player. Finding passes wherever they want Weston as they move down the field. Nice cross across the field, however, not in a dangerous area, but a Weston player nonetheless comes away with it. That pass in the middle, Gavin B there to collect it. Brian waiting to turn around. He's got his head up. He's looking. He's trying to find someone to pass to. And finds Cow out on the right side. I'm sorry, on the left side. Cow tries to pass this one over to Gavin. Unfortunately gives it away. Number 19 from Weston. Beautiful ball across the field. Oh, the Weston striker slips. We might have got away with one there as Matthew clears the ball up the field. Julian collects and passes the ball back to Gavin B. Gavin B just couldn't find the player on the right side. And Weston again come away with the ball. Weston now trying to get something going again, but Gavin B stands up and passes the ball to Gavin K. Julian now on the ball, looking for another pass, and finds Cal. Cal with an errant pass, passes to number 19. Number 19 from Weston is on the attack, passes it across to number 7. 7 looking and finds the back of the net. Oh, not what we were looking for, but unfortunately it looked like it was going to happen. Weston has been on the attack for a straight, probably about the last 16 minutes, and just an errant pass, unfortunately, ends in heartbreak as this ball finds the back of the net on the left cheek. Brandon came out, tried to make himself as big as possible, but unfortunately just couldn't cut down that angle enough, and it just ended with a goal. First water break of the game as Coach Greg tries to formulate a strategy in order to get South Florida on the attack here, as we have about 3/4 of the game still left to play. At this point, Weston has been stifling in their defense, not allowing South Florida to get too many passes going before they end up taking it away. South Florida having to stay with the long ball for the most part and trying to find players on the run. We'll see if things change as they come back from water break here and try to change their fate, as Weston is currently leading 1-0. As we're waiting for the referee, South Florida has made a couple of changes here to the lineup. JC checks in on that right side, and Brian and Gavin K now occupy the middle of the field, with Gavin B taking up left back. Kyle taking a seat as Matthew clears this ball out of the area before it could be a threat to Brandon in goal. Julian appears to take a spot closer to the defense as we wait for the Weston throw. Matthew again fighting it out, able to come away with it, trying to pass this ball across. And it looks like Mossy is there to kick the ball into a Weston player. Hopefully this will be a South Florida throw, and it is. So far, a little bit of the same. Hopefully this is going to change as we progress. But I am hopeful. I think that South Florida definitely has the abilities and skills to stay competitive in this game and come away with a win or at least a tie against this tough Weston offense. As this ball comes to Julian's feet, he plays it down and across to Gavin B, occupying that left back role. He passes over to Edon. Edon now trying to pass the ball up. A Weston player gets a foot to it, and JC's now applying the pressure on that right side and is able to get enough pressure to win the ball. Still fighting to get control of the ball and string some passes together as the Weston striker puts a nice move on Matthew, but Edon there to save the day as he comes sliding in to prevent that ball from moving forward. And bam, there it is. Hopefully that's a spark that gets this team going. Sometimes it takes a play like that to show the team, hey, we can move forward, we can progress, let's get going. As JC throws this ball back. Important note, JC is returning to the lineup today after having an injury at the beginning of the season off the field. Hopefully he brings the spark to this offense that we need in order to get back in the game. As this ball is played forward, but Edon intercedes. Weston comes away with it again, finding passes just wherever they want to go. As this ball's played up, looks like a shot on goal, but not much of one, as Brandon easily snags this one out of the air and is looking to play it down and now to Edon. Edon now scanning the field, taking his time with the ball, plays the ball upfield, finds Mossy, who plays it off his chest just a little too much as Weston comes away with that one, but JC there to kick it out into touch. We'll see how the weather also affects the players today. As I mentioned before, it is pretty hot out for October. Hopefully we're able to manage it as well as we've managed other games, as Nick comes away with this one and starts dribbling down the field. He's got time on the ball, which is not something we can say for this game, as he takes this ball down the right side of the field, makes a nice cut inside, plays the ball up the field, but no South Florida player is there to receive it, and Weston kicks the ball away, and now back into their passing game. Number 19 on the ball has a lot of time as he plays his ball out to the right back. Back to 19. 19 looking for someone to pass to. Gavin K applies some pressure, and the right back plays it across. Ball in the middle of the field. Weston still in control, playing the ball out to the left side now. And here comes Weston. Hard pass from the Weston player. Their center mid wasn't able to control it. Now looking across into the middle, finds 19. 19 back to the other player, and over to their right back, who now crosses it over just a little too hard. I have to tell you, it's a beautiful thing to watch Weston pass this ball. Quick passes, quick decisions, crossing the field, switching the side. It's really something. Much like Inter Miami with their passing ability and how they're able just to find that open player. As Gavin B plays this to Julian. Julian plays it back to Lano. Lano looking across the field this time instead of up the middle. Finds JC, who gets ahead of the ball to bring it forward. Mossy trying to apply pressure as Weston plays this ball back to the goalie to reset. JC able to come away with the ball there. There's a shot. Oh, and it's just over the goal. Wow, as we take another look at this one. Gets that ball right in the middle of the field. Sees the goalie's off his line. Really good decision. Really good thinking by JC. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. But man, what a beautiful goal that would have been. Really hoping to see more of that as we move forward here today. And finally, some good luck going South Florida's way as they were able to come away with that one. But now Weston back on the attack and moving down that right side. Weston still committing a lot of players to the attack, but it looks like Coach Greg changed things up a little bit. So now that they have more South Florida players back to help defend, it's definitely creating a lot less opportunities for Weston to get the ball in the spaces as they now have to play the ball back yet again to their goalie. Weston moving the ball forward. South Florida defending better as they move this ball around again, mainly in the back end of their side of the field now. Right back on the ball for Weston, moving forward, finds an open pocket of space. Oh, foul. Foul called on Gavin B. First foul for him. Clearly a foul on that one. No real argument there. And Weston with another free kick in a dangerous area as this cross comes in. Doesn't find a black shirt, but just the foot of a South Florida player tries to kick it out of bounds. Weston still trying to move this ball into a dangerous area, and this one has gone out for a goal kick. Brandon now back on the ball. Plays this one out to Gavin. Gavin, not a natural left-footed player, but he is doing the job at the left back position as they play this ball forward. Now, Weston again back to this right back. Back to their captain, back to the right back. And looking for number 19, and they find him again, who takes a shot. This one's a swerving shot. Had some movement on it, but it goes well wide of the goal. And Brandon plays this out to Don, and Don kicks it up the field. JC there to try to get a shoulder to it, and does. Weston playing the ball back. South Florida definitely looks a little bit more compact than what they were at the beginning. And Gavin again gets his foot to the ball and manages to win a throw for South Florida. But we just gave it right back. All right, Weston taking their time with the throw. No real rush for them. And number 19 again finds himself on the ball, playing the ball back. And number 2 plays it into the middle. Julian's there to get a foot. Lano able to clear it. JC plays this one down off his chest. Up to Brian. Brian now looking up. Finds Nick. A great pass through the middle. Nick trying to play this ball over for Thiago. Thiago unable to come away with it. JC back on the ball. Julian to Brian. Brian got his head up all the time. Looking. Takes a shot. And goalie's able to come away with it. Not much of a threat there. I don't think he got his full venom on the shot, but it was good enough to get to the goalie. And Weston plays this one out of the back yet again. Nice tackle by Thiago. Unfortunately, South Florida couldn't come away with it. But just showing that we still have some fight left in us. Oh, Gavin K comes away with that ball. He's in a dangerous area. He crosses it. Just couldn't get it. Find Nick to get for the goal. The goalie comes out for Weston. Comes up and grabs it. But yet again, another mistake by Weston in their own half of their field. Oh, as they try to kick this one away, Nick gets a foot to it. And the keeper comes out and picks it up. Weston, a couple of mistakes in the middle. I'm hoping that South Florida is going to be able to capitalize on one of these to try to put a goal in, as JC is able to kick this one out for another throw for Weston. So that's 2 plays which have resulted in good attacking options as Brian tries to make something happen here in the middle of the field. I'm sure Weston's probably going to make the corrections at half, but I'm hoping for the time that South Florida is able to hopefully get one goal out of one of their mistakes before that halftime whistle comes. As this ball is played up, but Lano's there to take care of it. Weston again playing the ball where they know there is no South Florida player. connect 4 or 5 passes when there's nobody threatening you, as the Weston players play this one out to the right side. Ball in the middle of the field now. M.A.D almost able to come away with that one. Now he's on defense here on the right side. And that ball is played into the box, headed by a Weston player with a Don on his back. And the ball is just kicked up in the air wildly. Brandon's going to be able to come away with this one easily. Largely thankful to his size. As he scans the field, he rolls the ball out to Don. Don looking around. And he's going to send the ball long. Looking for Thiago. Thiago able to get a good touch to it to get it to JC. JC up to Brian. Brian trying to make a run on the ball. It does. He's still got possession. He's trying to find Nick. Just cannot find that one touch to try to get it to him as a Weston player just came in and knocked the ball out of his possession as Don kicks this one out of bounds. Weston still here, but it looks like they made a mistake and the ball went out of bounds. Waiting for the throw. Matthew taking the throw in. Finds Brian. Brian chests it down. Finds Julian. Julian looking across the field. He finds Gavin B on the run. Looking. Finds Gavin K. Gavin K trying to make something happen. But Weston comes away though. Slipped by Weston. And it looks like he made a touch with his hand when he was in the process of falling. So a little bit of luck there for SFFA as we take a short kick. Able to manage some. Brian was trying to make a good turn there, unable to do it. Referee says play on as Brian had found the Weston player. Weston making some passes as they have done the whole game. Brian able to come away with that one with a nice turn. But unfortunately ran right into the feet of a Weston defender. Number 17 for Weston now coming up the field. The two Gavins try slide tackles and eventually get it, winning a throw for Weston. But showing that defensive spirit of South Florida, not to just let that center back run up the field wherever he wants. Weston again on the ball with time in a dangerous area. And Don's there to clear it. And it's out of bounds for a Weston throw. Well, Gavin K tried, and Gavin B succeeded. That's some teamwork there, because Gavin K put him in a position where he had to, that Weston player had to keep running, and it gave Gavin B the opportunity to intercede and make that slide tackle, and hopefully stop the Weston attack for the time being. Mora now on the ball. Checked in here, as well as Martine. And we'll see if they can help improve our fate before the halftime whistle blows. As this ball comes across, Brandon easily reads it and dives out for it and picks it up. Well, we're getting close to halftime, and it looks like the referee has blown his whistle. We are 1-0 down to South Florida. Coach Greg comes out to address some things with the referees. So far, I don't know if it's been unfair or fair. The referees have been blowing the whistle on some occasions. I will tell you that Weston seems to be a little bit more physical than most teams that South Florida has played. I think the last team that they played that was this physical was Kendall. And it was by virtue of the fact of their size. They were making contact with a lot of the South Florida players, making it a very difficult game for them. There were very few whistles blown. So here's the first half stats. As you can see, Weston is clearly outpassing South Florida, but that's no surprise with their style of play. Passing 186 to 111. But South Florida has completed 68% of their passes with 76. Weston completing 146 passes for 78%. We have taken 3 shots to Weston's 4. But again, shots on goal are what matter, and Weston's had at least 2, which one of them has gone in. South Florida has committed 3 fouls to Weston's 1, and 1 corner have been awarded to Weston as we start the second half. Weston to kick off, and they start to swing it around to the right side. And they play the ball up the field to number 19. Oh, foul there by Mora as he was trying to prevent the Weston player from gaining any ground. A little incidental contact. I don't think there was much venom in that one. And Weston will have a free kick that they take short. Looking across the field, they're switching the side. And JC comes to apply the pressure. Again, overloading this one side with 3 players as Matthew comes to try to take over. He gets a little nutmeg there from the Weston player, but he's able to recover. And they stop the attack for the most part, as Weston is forced to play this ball back. Weston now trying the other side to see how weak our South Florida defense is, but hopefully they'll find no joy. And I'm sure South Florida had a significant talking to by Coach Greg regarding mistakes that were made, as Thiago dances with the ball, trying to create some space to get somebody a ball. Weston unfortunately comes away with it as they work this ball down the left side. JC able to come over and take that ball away from the Weston offensive player. Nick now on the ball, working the right side. He's got 3 Weston defenders on him. Gets the ball over to JC. JC trying to play the ball up the field. Finds Martin. Martin now on the ball. And playing the ball in the middle of the field. Mora is there. Mora still with the ball. Crossing it in. Couldn't find Nick. The Western player kicks out. We still have it. Thiago now on the ball. He crosses it in. Nick tried to get a foot to it. And the Weston goalie is now just taking his time and passes it over to the center back. Weston playing out the back again. Working from side to side. This could be an errant pass as this ball went a little high. But the Weston center back there to head it down. JC comes away with it. Some fancy footwork trying to get the cross in. He does. Can Thiago get there? He did get a touch to it. Let's see if he can get the ball in. He has to play the ball back. Martin's trying to now fight for the ball. Weston trying desperately to clear this ball. And it looks like they have for the time being. Julian with a nice nutmeg to get that ball down the line to Martin. Martin to Mora. Mora trying to find the quick pass. And we have a stoppage of play. Apparently this ball went out of bounds. I'm assuming at this point when he nutmegged the Weston player, and we're going to have a throw out to the side. Well, some good attack here, some nice combination play from the South Florida team. And we have a little bit of a foul call there as Martin caught the foot of the Weston player as he went by. So nice interchange of play. Yep, not much there. Just a little clip of the heel there. But some nice interchange of play from South Florida here on the left side. Some of the changes that Coach Greg has made, I think has made an impact so far. As Nick is applying pressure to the goalie. They play this out to their left side. Ooh, JC almost got a foot to that one. Weston now on the attack as Julian slides in to no avail. Matthew now having to pick up the middle of the field. Weston now switching to the right side and trying to work it from there. South Florida defenders now coming back. Martin able to get a foot to that ball. Thiago playing the ball forward, trying to get up there. But 19 yet again from Weston is there as Thiago makes a nice little sliding tackle to play that ball out into touch. Well, I will tell you that the South Florida players are laying it on the line. They are definitely trying to get themselves back into this game through any means necessary as Weston takes this throw. Working the ball, trying to find a player. Matthew coming up significantly, but backs off so that the midfielder can take over. Don heading that ball back down the field for no entry by the South Florida center back. Weston again patient on the ball. Now looking for long balls as they find their right back. And getting this ball in. Lano says no, no, no. And clears the ball down the right side. Thiago there again as well. It's going to be a Weston throw. Here we are. Martin there. Weston gets the ball off. Looks like a shot. Don gets his foot up, blocks it. And the ball is cleared up the middle of the field. Nick trying to get something going here. As he applies pressure to the center back, he's able to get the ball off. JC now coming away with it. Gets the ball up. Nick is now, it's a horse race. Let's see if Nick can get there. And the Weston player just kicks it out of bounds, playing it safe. I tell you, that is not a situation that you want Nick in, where it's him racing against you because 9 times out of 10 he wins that race, and then it's a goal for South Florida. As we are back on the ball here, trying to make something happen. Gavin B plays this ball up the left side, and in a touch. Waiting for the throw. Weston. Fine pass in the middle. As they move the ball up the field. Working that right side. John there, Matthew there to clear the ball. And it's going to be a Weston corner. Now Florida lining up here, trying to cover every available Weston player as this ball is played in. It's short. Julian there to get a foot to it. Weston still maintains possession for another cross. This one headed up. Don climbs the back of the Weston player to ensure that he's not going to elevate. And Brandon plays this ball out to Lano. Lano playing the ball up the field. Finds Thiago. Thiago looking for a pass. Still working hard to get that ball. Plays it backwards to Gavin B. Gavin B plays it back to Brandon. Brandon now on the foot. Gets it to... Oh, no. Looks like it went out of bounds before Brandon could get there. Another corner for Weston coming up. Let's hope it's as ineffective as their last corner was. And it looks like they're going to try to take this one short again. Weston player lets it play through. Is able to find a player. Not much of a shot, not much of a threat. As Brandon lines up to take this kick, plays it out to Egon. Egon looking up the field. Finds JC. JC plays a nice touch to the middle. Finds Mora. Mora back to JC. JC to Martin. Sorry, Martin. Martin back to Mora. Mora up the field. Fortunately, no South Florida player there to receive, but a good idea. As Nick now chases this ball to try to put some pressure on Weston. Trying a little exchange of play there, but unfortunately doesn't come away with it. As Matthew takes this throw and gets it up to Nick. Nick lets it play through. Matthew there again to play the ball out. Finds Martin. Martin trying to make a play on this. Wow, that was quite a collision there. As he was fouled, he goes sliding down and then makes contact with the Weston player, taking him out of his feet. Foul by Weston. As he down lines up to take this kick. JC now on the ball, trying to make something happen. Too many Weston players, but another foul. JC was trying to dribble this player. It looks like they got a nice little tug of him. And Mora lines up to take this free kick. SFFA players are in the box waiting the free kick. As here it comes, curling effort comes in there. Fortunately, nobody could find a foot to the ball. Weston is now moving this ball up the right side, trying to make something happen as Matthew plays it back in. Finds Nick. Nick tries to play it across. Thiago plays the ball up in the air. Nick comes down with it on his chest. He's got the ball. He's got possession in the box. Oh, there was some contact there. Goalie for Weston is telling him to get up. I don't know. It looked like there was a little bit of contact there. The referee is slowing things down. Let's take a look at this. Nick has possession of the ball. He cuts it inside. I don't know. This is difficult to see as we zoom in and we're trying to take a closer look. You can see Nick gets a touch of the ball. The Weston player comes across Nick's legs. But my view is kind of obstructed by the Weston player. The referee in the end rules it not to be a penalty and gives Weston a drop ball. But yes, another questionable call here in a dangerous area. The one remember earlier in the game with Brian, that I thought was clearly a penalty, or at least a foul, and nothing was called. Weston is definitely on the attack here, and crossing that ball in, Edon gets a touch to it and then clears it out. We'll see how this game progresses, but these are some calls that I think should have been made. Fortunately, they just haven't been in our favor as Weston takes this throw. Weston playing the ball back, as they have been wont to do this entire game, and with great effect as they continue to get the South Florida defense to shift and change and run after this ball. And Weston moving the ball in the middle of the field. Toronto there to try to apply some pressure. Unfortunately, he gets a piece of the Weston player in the process, and they have a free kick again in a dangerous area in front of the box. Didn't look like there was much of a difference there between that call and Nick's. Both involved the player's foot coming across the other player. Obviously, the referee had a better vantage point in this instance than he did in Nick's, but call nonetheless for Weston as number 19 lines up to take this free kick. South Florida having their wall up. Matthew having a little bit of fight here with number 17 as this ball is launched right into the wall. Lionel able to clear it up the field. And Weston player coming back on the attack. Number 15. 19 again back on the ball. As South Florida waits, the ball is crossed in. Dangerous. Lionel able to get a foot to it, and that's clearly got to be a foul. And it is called for one. As the Weston player just knocks Julian to the ground here. No attempt to go for the ball. Clearly just a frustration foul. And Edon lines up to take this free kick. No warning really given to the Weston player. As Julian touches this one back to Edon. Edon looking forward, finds JC. JC takes another touch out to the outside. This time the Weston player reads it. And a foul called. Not sure what we're seeing here. JC never really had a handle on the player. But another call nonetheless by the referee for Weston, as number 19 gets another bite of the apple and is lining up to take this free kick as well. South Florida covering the minimal number of players that Weston has put into the box. Lots of space here. Matthew able to clear that ball. Matthew again trying to get it clear. This time Thiago finds it and plays it to Martin. Martin plays it up the field. The safety as Nick charges forward to try to put some pressure on the goalie. Weston plays this ball now out to the left side. JC going after it with some venom. And 17 from Weston is now charging on the ball. Not much action from him today, as Edon takes this one off of his feet and is fighting to get forward and able to keep this ball in play. Unfortunately, just no South Florida player there to receive it. And Weston trying to capitalize on the big defender being out of his area. As Matthew is fighting for this ball. It looked like it was out of bounds, but no call. The referee's got his whistle to his mouth because Mora clearly got a handle of the Weston player. And South Florida comes away with this. And Weston again trying to get this back into an area, but it looks like Gavin's going to be there to clean it up. He gets this ball to Martin. Martin again is pushed down. And no call? Yes, there is a call. Martin was pushed down yet again by a Weston player. Julian was the first one to receive this treatment. And doesn't appear like the referee is interested in having a talk with the Weston players for the second infraction that they've committed. As we wait here for what is going to be a massive switch by the Weston team, as they switch out 8 players at once. So essentially a whole new team has checked in for Weston here in the second half. And now South Florida has to try to find a way to beat essentially a whole nother squad of players who are completely rested and able to move forward. As we get a foul call here against Weston yet again. Fouls seem to be coming pretty quickly now for Weston as they clipped Gavin here. Again, no try for the ball, just looked like just pure contact. Lano plays this ball long down the field. Headed down by a Weston player as Nick's trying to apply pressure as well again. They work this ball back and across. JC trying to clog up those passing lanes. Just unable to do so due to the Weston's positioning of their players. Always in triangle formations to make it as easy as possible for them to find players. Weston again going on, working the ball from side to side. Passing the ball down the line. Lano gets able to get a touch. Oh, nice footwork. He's able to win this ball, and the Weston player just pulling and grabbing. Just, I don't get it. I don't understand that. 4 fouls pretty much in a row from Weston. No yellow card warnings, no talking to by the referee. Looks like we're going to have a conference here between the line judge and the referee. Not sure what's being said here. Maybe they're trying to evaluate whether or not it's worthy of a yellow card. But it's a short conversation, and now we're back in play. Well, I can tell you from watching this game, it doesn't look like there's much punishment coming for Weston, having 4 fouls in a row. They are now back in the attack. Looking to move forward as Julian sticks his foot in there for that pass. Gavin with a nice tackle to clear that ball. And Weston crossing the ball into the middle dangerously, but Brandon there to easily catch it. And he's looking forward and punts the ball. JC there to collect it. Oh, just fortunately a bad touch of the ball. Weston was able to get a hold of it, but not for long, as Mora is fighting for this ball and is able to collect and get it off the Julian. Mora back to Julian. Julian now looking across the field, and a Weston player is able to get a foot to it. It looks like it may go out of bounds for a South Florida throw. Martine looking for a player now, and looks like he's going to throw it down the line. There's a player there to head it back. As they work this ball back to their goalie and up the field. Oh! Dangerous contact there. Edon from South Florida was moving forward to head this ball, and it's an immediate yellow card by the referee. Honestly, I don't know. I think that should have been a red. The Weston player had his studs up while trying to make contact with this ball, and appears to have made contact with Edon's head. This is not something that you want any player to go through, and you definitely don't want to see this happen from the sidelines as a parent or as another teammate. He appears to be talking to the coach as well as the trainer and getting treatment on the field. The referee was quick to issue the yellow card. Honestly, I think if he had the benefit of replay, I think that would have been a straight red. It was definitely dangerous play. You don't need to go into that play with your studs up. You could have had your foot angled downward to try to make contact with the ball. I know it was an accident. However, I think the rules are pretty clear at that point, as he immediately gets back into the play and heads this ball forward. Thankfully, it doesn't appear to be too bad of an injury for him to do something like that, but he is a tough one, so we'll see how this game progresses. As this ball is out for a throw, JC now taking throws. Looks across, finds Julian. Julian pops the ball up in the air. Nick is now on it. He tries to pop it over to Martine. But so far, Weston's still in control. Playing this ball down the line. Lano there, get a piece of it. Gavin playing it across. And he finds JC. JC's looking around. He puts the ball into space to Matthew. Matthew plays this ball up looking for Nick. There's 3 Weston players there to converge on him. And they can come away with the ball. I mean, the fury of passes from this Weston team and always finding feet is just really something amazing. The pace in which they are getting these passes off, finding a Weston player, now a shot. Whoa, thankfully over the goal. But as I was saying earlier, the passing that they are able to produce and the speed at which they're able to produce it, it's just nothing short of really spectacular passing today. It's a very difficult job for the South Florida. John is able to cut past one of the Weston players with this ball out to Matthew. Matthew playing it out to the front, trying to find Gavin Kay. Unable to do so, this Weston player juggles the ball over a couple of South Florida defenders. Finds his man. As Nick tries to win that ball, he is called for a foul and given a yellow card. I don't know how that's a yellow card. It looked like he was clearly trying to win the ball here. Not sure why that is a foul. As we take another look, he actually got the ball, and he can't really help where his foot lands. It landed in between the player, and the player went to turn and fell over. But now, Weston again, free kick. Places this ball in the middle, and Don again heads the ball away with authority. Well, he is not going to let something like a boot to the head slow him down, as he clears this ball with such force and effort that it goes out immediately for a Weston throw. Waiting for the throw now. Looks like they want to try to occupy the corner. 2 South Florida defenders go over there to intervene. And they're looking, looks like they're looking for a throw. Weston wants a corner. Sure with the umbrella obstructions what we're going to get, but it looks like it's going to be a corner. Weston has taken 2 short corners, and it set up to take a third, but they don't. They play this one long. Trying to find the head of that giant center back that they brought in, number 16, but we're unable to do so. This ball goes out of bounds for another throw for Weston. Well, I gotta tell you, if I'm one of these players playing in this heat, sweating, running, constantly out of breath, and then they say, oh, here's 8 more players to play against that are completely fresh, as Martin is looking for a foul here. The referee indicates something about his arm. Although I don't see much there. It looked like Martin was going around him. He may have touched his shoulder, but it didn't look like a grab to me. But back to what I was saying is that if you were to tell me after playing 45 minutes of hard football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, and now you have to play against 8 fresh players, I just don't know how you do that. But South Florida is trying to find a way here as they're staying competitive and keeping Weston out of the goal for a second time today. As Matthew takes this throw, he puts it long, gives the players something to run to. And, the Weston defender slips, but he's still able to maintain the ball and plays this ball down the line. And Weston, again, able to pass out of danger as they move into South Florida territory. All right, looks like we might get lucky here. Brian's applying some pressure to get to that ball and able to do so. Weston playing the ball down the line yet again. Mono there and clears it out. We're going to get a goal kick, and it doesn't appear that we're that lucky. Weston again, now kicking long once more. Martin able to get ahead to it, heads it down, and we win a goal kick. All right. Some luck finally going South Florida's way as Brandon places this ball down and kicks it over to Edon. Edon looking for a player up the middle and finds him in Brian. Brian trying to play through the Weston defender, unable to do so. This could be trouble, but Edon is able to save the day and clears the ball up to Nick. But Nick severely outsized by this new center back from Weston. And this ball is played up to the goalie who picks it up under pressure from Nick. Well, I will tell you that the center back that Weston has brought in is nothing short of gigantic. He is definitely a very large player and clearly a presence out there that Weston's going to try to take advantage of as they get these corner kicks. Weston in a little bit of trouble there. Brian able to come away with something, but just not enough South Florida players in the area to assist. And this ball is played back up the field to a waiting Weston player. This new 8 players that they brought on seem to be trying to follow the same game plan as the previous 8. They're not being as successful as a lot of their passes are not finding the players that the previous team has found. As this ball's played into number 20, 20 kicks it in the touch. Martin has a throw. And definitely a little bit lackluster as the defender gives away this ball. Nick's on it. Let's see what we can get. He tries to play it through. He can't. He's still fighting for the ball. There's a scrum now. There's 3 Weston players around Nick. He still gets up and is able to fight for this ball. And now they kick him. And he is down yet again. And no call from the ref as Weston plays this ball forward. I don't see how there was not a foul somewhere in there as Nick is fighting and scrambling to get this ball, to get control, to get a shot. And 3 Weston players are surrounding him. Nothing was there. As Matthew gets this ball and is trying to find somebody, there was a handball. No call made. Continues to fight. Able to get a toe to it. And the ball's out of bounds for Weston. Well, I gotta tell you, we're gonna take another look at this one as well. And we're gonna see what it is this referee saw. Nick here, he goes down for the first time. He's on top of the ball. Weston all seem to be looking for a foul call there. Nick tries to get up and win the ball some more, but there's kicks, and more kicks. Now we're going to slow it down to a considerable degree, and we're going to zoom in here a little bit. You can clearly see that Nick is trying to win the ball, and the Weston player has his feet up in an effort to prevent that. Nick's now on the ball. Weston all seem to have their hands up, wanting some sort of call made. Nick's able to get up, maintain control of the ball. More feet come flying in. Nick is trying to get up to an area to where he could do something with the ball and is kicked more by Weston players, causing them to go to the ground. Now you can call that acting, you can call that whatever you want, but there's clearly contact from the Weston players on a South Florida player with possession of the ball in the box. So I'm not quite sure what the referee is waiting for in making a penalty call. I don't know how much clearer it could be, but we'll see how this game progresses as this ball now goes out of bounds for South Florida. Brian again on the ball, but he's double teamed, and a foul is called in a very odd spot. I didn't see much of a foul in that area. Looks like they made contact with his feet, and that's what the referee is calling. Good position here for a free kick, and Matthew going out to the right. South Florida has significant players in the box. Here comes Nick for the kick. Ball's in. Weston player makes good contact with the ball and heads this ball out as they play it up the field. Julian's there to get a foot to it. Edon now looking for a player. Finds Matthew on the right side. Matthew playing it back into the box. Finds Gavin Kay, but there's no other players there to assist as Weston comes away with it again. Weston with all the time in the world here, protecting a 1-0 lead. As Brian intercepts that pass, gets to JC. JC up to Nick. Nick now trying to make some more trouble. As Brian comes away with this ball, nice little move, gets around the center back. Nick back on the ball. There's a push down to the ground. Referee again calls nothing and is calling this ball for Weston. I don't know what he's looking at here as Edon protests profusely with the referee. How could he have not called this one? As we take another look, this one is clearly contact. No play on the ball. This is clearly a penalty. As we take a closer look, you can see Nick has control of the ball. The Weston player just comes and basically knocks him to the ground. How that is not a penalty, I don't know. And yet, again, closer and slower, he makes contact not only with Nick's side, but his foot. Now, you could say that maybe the first foul was acting, maybe the second foul, there wasn't enough there. But clearly, this third one, there was enough evidence to show that this was a penalty. And while the referee doesn't have the advantage of looking it over again, he was watching that play with no obstruction whatsoever. As Edon's coming down with this ball here on the sideline. And bam, foul! Where is the referee on this one as he finally blows the whistle? But how this is called as a foul, but not for Nick, I don't understand. I don't understand it whatsoever. Oh, as Edon shows some frustration here, as all the SFFA players should have. We're hoping that he's going to keep it down before the referee starts pulling some yellow cards for our players, which have really done nothing wrong at this point. But he's having a talking to here with Edon, but I think Edon can only say, hey, look, this frustration is basically because of the lack of calls that my team has been getting in situations where it's clearly there should be a penalty call. As Edon kicks this ball out to the left side for trying to find Martin. Some more body contact by Weston as they move this ball up through the middle of the field. Edon intercedes on that play. Julian plays it back to Matthew. Matthew with an errant pass. And this ball comes shot comes wide, thankfully. I will tell you that the parents on the sidelines here at Loggers Run Park are very unhappy with the play calling by this referee. And listen, I know it's a difficult position to be a referee, and it's not easy to make these calls, but I think 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. As another foul is called here, again against Weston, for what, again, seems to be less of a foul than what was committed in the box just a few moments ago. And this has only fueled the rage of the South Florida parents here on the sideline, as another foul is called against Weston for what is yet another foul that does not seem to be anything close to what was done in the box. I hate to keep ramping up on this, but the referee really doesn't give me much choice as he continues to make these calls, with Weston now charging down the field. Edon does a great job of shepherding this ball out. As we take another look at this foul, that is almost identical to what happened to Nick in the box, if you guys remember. Almost identical. And we're going to ask Mad About Soccer Studios to try to find a replay of those two to show them side by side as to what the difference is between the two and why the referee didn't make a call like that, as Weston's on the attack again, trying to find a player. Matthew with two to defend, does so very well. as Weston plays this ball up, and Brandon's there to collect. Well, hopefully things calm down here, because I'd hate for things to get ugly. We definitely don't want to see that in youth soccer. Obviously, the number one goal here is for the kids to learn, progress, and grow. But it is difficult with some play calls like this. We hope that you join us next week for South Florida Football Academy versus Tampa Bay United. That is yet another away game where the team will be traveling a considerable distance out to Tampa Bay to play a tough team, as Nick is called for the foul here. Let's take a look at that. He might have got a piece of him, but the Weston player is clearly holding him back as well. The line judge over here seems to be having a good time. He's laughing and giggling. We'll see what happens with this. Matthew heads this ball across into the middle. Lano there to get a piece of it. And Matthew back in action again as he blocks that shot. This ball is starting to go out of bounds, and Matthew just lets it run for a corner. Weston lined up again, plays this ball long, looking again for that gigantic center back that they have. And that ball popped harmlessly in the air and out of bounds for a goal kick. Lano now on the ball, plays it out to Gavin. Gavin brings the ball up the field. Just can't find Martine, and the ball is in touch. Weston taking their time, trying to preserve their lead. I think that they know that they've escaped quite a few chances here by South Florida. And Julian now is on the ball, looking for someone to pass to. Brings the ball up the field. Weston quick to outrun the South Florida player to the ball. Gavin trying to do what he can there to try to win the ball back for South Florida, as Weston is again moving the ball forward and into our own area. Quick give and go play by Weston, trying to make something happen as Julian tries to clear the ball up the field. Brian able to make a nice play on it, using his body well to shield the ball. And Weston looking to cross it in again, and they do. Matthew able to head this ball away and out to the right. Weston easily on the ball as they bring this ball into the corner, literally trying to kill the clock. As Matthew comes over to assist, looks like we're going to get a call here, and it's going to be South Florida's ball. All right, well, we've seen it all today. As this ball's thrown down the field for someone, Gavin K comes away with it, passes it to JC. JC across to Brian. Brian takes a slip as he was trying to send that ball long. And Weston comes away with it again, trying to take a shot, but it is blocked. Matthew out here trying to defend this ball, gets a little touch with his foot, and it looks like he was offside. John takes it quickly, tries to bring the ball up the field, gets a little luck there, but not enough. As Weston plays this ball back down into our own half. Making the quick passes yet again, but not quick enough, as Brian takes away the ball there. Nice cut in from Brian, gets the ball up to Nick, hopping over a Weston player. Weston player yet again fouls South Florida. No card. This would have to be an accumulation of fouls, I think, for this particular player. I believe he's committed at least 3. But nothing from the referee. Play on, says he. And he's on now to take the kick as Kyle rejoins the team on the right mid position. This ball played up again to Martine. Martine on the attack, trying to get the ball going into a dangerous area. Weston player able to fend him off, but the ball comes back to Gavin B. Gavin B up to Gavin K. Cowan making a run on the ball. Weston goalie comes out and collects. A little bit of something there, a little bit of spark as we get into the waning minutes here of the game. And the Weston goalie plays it out to the side. And Weston yet again finding passes at will. Playing this ball up the middle. Lano there easily plays it over to Edon. Edon plays the ball up the field, trying to get something going before the referee blows the whistle as time starts to whittle down here. Weston plays the ball again into the box, and referee is blowing the whistle for offside. As we take a look at the second half game stats, Weston has attempted 144 passes, completing 114 to SFFA 94 and 68. Roughly around 70% for SFFA, 79 for Weston. 3 shots for Weston, 1 shot on goal for 1 shot for SFFA, but neither team has generated a shot on goal. The interesting statistic is Weston has committed 14 fouls in this half of play. Quite shocking considering that they've only generated 1 yellow card for their play as SFFA works this ball through the back. And another foul committed by Weston, this time to Gavin. And again, not playing the ball, just playing the player and knocking him to the ground. Another yellow card, just as we were discussing it. Well, no time like the very end of the match to get a hold of the aggressive play of a team as Lano goes to kick this ball long. Brian trying to win the ball, do what he can, as Martin comes in here for a slide tackle. Unfortunately gets more of the Weston player than he does the ball. But hey, at least he was trying to play the ball. I think that's the operative thing that we should all keep in mind as Weston plays this ball up in the air. Lano there to head it their way. Gavin playing the ball to Martin. Now playing the ball long, looking for Nick. Trying to find him as Coach Greg helps this ball long for better position on the field. Gavin takes the long throw, looking for Nick, finds him. Oh, actually no, he finds the long legs of the Weston center back, and that will do it. The referee has called an end to this match. Like I said, some questionable calling here by the referee. I have seen better calls. I will say that out of the fouls that he did call, I didn't see many that were different than what I saw in the box. As the players go and they do the right thing and they tell the ref good job. It is a difficult job being a referee. You have to make split-second decisions. As game stats will show, Weston had clearly outnumbered the number of passes for South Florida, 330 to 205. Their passing percentage was also very high at 79%, but South Florida's with a respectable 70%. 7 shots from Weston, 4 to the SFFA. Shots on goal only 2 for Weston, which one of them was the winning goal. No shots on goal for South Florida. There were 15 fouls in the match for Weston to South Florida's 11. 2 yellow cards for Weston, 1 yellow card for South Florida. As we see the players come and congratulate the fans for their patience and for attending today. We hope that the kids have a much better luck at Tampa Bay, or at least better calls on the field that hopefully go their way. As the kids trot off the field to applaud the fans, we also thank them for their patience during this game. We know that there was a lot of fouls, much more than what we're used to seeing. As we take a look here at some of the replays from today's game, I know that this can be frustrating for some of the parents. Well, let's also remember that it's not easy to step onto that field and make decisions with seconds to process what you're seeing. Even though he has assistance from other referees, sometimes the best call isn't always made, even when it happens time and time again. We hope for the best calls. We hope for our kids not to be injured while playing this beautiful game. But unfortunately, some things just are not in our control. And today, those were the calls made on the field. The kids did play hard, and they kept a very difficult and tough team down to just 1 goal. For those of us that might remember our game last year against Weston, it didn't end as favorably as today's did, with a considerable difference between goals. But today, we could say that the kids did put up a valiant effort in trying to put a good team down, but just came up a little short, as to no fault of their own. We hope to see you next week when we take on Tampa Bay. From Mad About Soccer, I appreciate you watching. We appreciate you tuning in. Please like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of the highlights from this game. We will see you again next week.